Hey everybody, I put out a poll not too long ago asking what Gutenberg standard block tutorial you'd prefer to see come out from me, and gave a few options. There was accordion using list blocks, there was a slider using column blocks, or a lazy loaded YouTube player using an image block. And overwhelmingly, the winner came out to be the YouTube player. So that's what I did. So let's jump into it. All right, so we're going to start out showing you what you would typically have on your website, which is a YouTube embed block. This is how most people add YouTube videos to their website. So I'll just grab the URL here from one of my videos and we'll put it in the embed block, click embed, and there it is. You have your YouTube video. And I'll show you what it looks like on the front end here. You see, it's just a standard YouTube embed player. When you look into the back end here, you see you got a couple of JavaScript files loading. And this is what we're trying to avoid, because for core vitals and page performance, we want to minimize the amount of JavaScript loading on the front end. And you'll see it just kind of adds an iframe to the page. So let's go ahead and remove this and instead add an image block, which is strange if you're trying to add a video, right? Adding an image block. But this is the whole point of the video. So we'll go ahead, take a screenshot of the actual YouTube video that was using the embed block, and we'll just put it inside of the image block instead. And look, looks just like a player. Give it a quick resize, and then I'll show you the difference real quick on the front end. There is no difference, right? No one would really tell that that's an image block, but as you can see, it is. This is just an image, and look what happens in the back end. No embed scripts. So let's jump into the code. First thing I'm gonna do is create a loop. It's gonna look for all the image blocks, basically, that have a specific class called YouTube thumb. And this way I can add as many as I want onto a site. On a web page, you can do a whole page full of videos, and it'll loop through each one and do the same functionality. And always check first that it exists. You don't want to be adding a for each to an empty array. And we'll go ahead and add a for each to the YouTube thumbs. Set up our singular variable. And what we're going to do with it is first we're going to grab the alt text from the individual image. This is the key to getting the YouTube video URL that we're going to use for the player. We're going to store the YouTube URL in the alt text. So we'll grab that first in a variable. We'll check if it exists and it's not empty. That's the key here. Alt text always exists in an image block, but we only want to be actionable if the alt text itself is not empty, because that means that we added alt text, and that's going to be the YouTube URL. So let's check that it exists and that it's not empty. And then we're going to take that same element and we're going to add a click event. This is the trigger for adding the player to replace the image. So every image will have a click event. Now, first we have to do one thing. We need to create a brand new element on click. It's going to be an iframe. This is going to be the embed iframe that you're using for the YouTube video. So we'll create a new variable, do a document create element, and we'll create a new iframe. And then next, we have to set some attributes. So the iframe src is going to be the YouTube embed URL. And that's the heart of the entire project, is getting this alt text URL into an iframe source URL attribute. So we have to add the iframe to the page. So we're going to do that after the image element. So we'll go ahead and just use after, and then inside we'll add our new iframe element. And this will put the iframe literally after the image in the DOM. And then after that, we're free to remove the image. We don't need it anymore because we're going to have our player. So just remove. And there we go. That's the basics of the lazy loaded YouTube player. Oh, I did forget actually that the alt text comes from the image, not from the image block container. So make sure you do that. All right, cool. Now let's add our class that we're looking for to the image block. That's the YouTube thumb class. And then we need to fill our alt text with the YouTube URL. And we'll take the URL we grabbed from before and paste it into the alt text. And then let's update our page and check out what we got in the front end. All right. You see it's still an image. Let's go ahead and look in the console. And when you click, look, it swaps out to an iframe. But it doesn't look like it likes the URL we used. So, yeah. One caveat here is you can't just use a normal YouTube play URL. What you need to do is grab the embed URL from the embed code. This is what YouTube uses for their iframes, and it's playable within an iframe. So we'll grab that URL and we'll paste that into the alt text. And go ahead and update our post. And then let's try it again. Here we go. Refresh and click. There you go. We have a YouTube video player on click. Now it doesn't play when you click play, right? That's kind of an issue. So we're gonna have to add a few things. First off, we're gonna add all of the attributes that YouTube does to their iframes. Go ahead and do that real quick. I'm just kind of referencing, you know, a normal YouTube embed video, grabbing some of these key elements like, you know, allow frame and other types of that sort. We'll add allow, which is a long string of things. I'll go ahead and try to speed through this typing portion. Clipboard right, autoplay, just all the things that need to be parameters within the iframes. All right, let's add the rest of them here. Frame border 0, and we're good. Now, key to getting this to autoplay when you click play is adding this extra string to the end of the YouTube URL. We'll go ahead and just add autoplay 1 and rel 0 because I don't want any relative videos to play at the end when the video ends. This is going to be my video player, so I don't need any suggestions from other videos on my website. And that's it. Let's compile and go ahead and jump back. I'm also going to remove the width from the image block itself, make it just auto because I know that the iframe itself is probably going to be whatever size it wants to be now that I changed the attributes. And now let's test it out. Click. There you go. Autoplayed video. Worked like a charm. Obviously it doesn't look great, so let's fix some of the styles real quick. One caveat, I went ahead and added a group around the image block to create a container. That way I have something to house in both the image and the iframe sizing wise. So let's go ahead and add some styling for the container. We'll go ahead and add a defined height and width. That way it's it's going to stay the same size no matter what. And we'll make a position relative because the iframe I want to make position absolute within the container. That way it just takes on the size of the container. So the image and the iframe can be the same size. So we'll just set the iframe height to 100%. We'll set it to the top left corner, and we'll make sure that the width is also 100%. Right. And then let's compile the styling and see what it looks like on the front end. All right. Now, when you click play, the iframe and the image basically are the exact same size. And there you go. All right. And that's it. In conclusion, you now have a image block that is a representation of your YouTube video. And when the page loads, nothing loads from YouTube at all. It's as if your page is just loading another image. And the only way you're going to get some of the embed scripts on your page is if somebody clicks on your video thumbnail. So, hope you liked that tutorial. And if you have any questions about what I just showed you, some specifics, let me know. I'll be posting the JavaScript code that I added in the description. So feel free to copy and paste that into your own page. The styling is what you want to make of it, and the image block is the image block. So it's basically just that little piece of JavaScript that allows this to happen. Nice and simple, just like I like it. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.